Think skinny, think skinny. It's me and you against these two fucks? Yeah. You hear that one? Q-tip is in the motherfucker!
Ken, I picked you as a partner to carry this team. I don't know what's going on.
I'll take over there. Good job! Come on,
Everybody can hear me? Yeah, we got a speaker over here, speaker over there.
You might have to turn it on.
Use your man voice.
Yeah, I like it.
Fornication. For an occasion such as a roast, it's important to keep the language clean and keep everyone's mind out of the gutter. There are women and children around, and we wouldn't want Wes's kids to hear their first cuss words out of this venue. Intercourse. And of course, my relationship with Ben Jumper, we've experienced a lot together. We've shared a lot of travels, made a lot of decisions that likely kept our parents up at night. I'm sorry, Ann and Mark and Mom and Dad. Fortunately, we got away with a lot more than we got caught for. Otherwise, we'd probably still be grounded or probably incarcerated. But tonight, we're here to celebrate the character known as Ben Jumper, because his head isn't big enough to begin with. But fortunately, the celebration of Ben Jumper is designed upon tearing him apart, cutting him down at the knees, and beating him down emotionally for the first time since boot camp. I hope everyone in the room, especially those on this day, has come here in good spirits and an open mind, and most importantly, ready to laugh, because that's really what we're here for. Quick opportunity to get our troubles behind us and share some laughs together. So I hope no one here is too sensitive, because let me tell you all, it's coming. For each and every one of you, no one's off limits, and I'm going to spread lies and rumors about every one of you, except for your mom. Love you. Love the whoopie pies. Love coming back for family parties. So you're good. You're all right. Hey, Dad. Well, you might get made fun of. We'll see. But Mom's off the hook. So is Ann. But otherwise, that's kind of it. But I will put out a disclaimer. I actually do like all of you, but Asia put me in charge of making fun of all of you. So I'm going to expose your flaws and weaknesses for a little while and make you wish that you hadn't made so many mistakes in your life. For starters, none of you are dressed as well as I am tonight, and comparatively, you all look like shit. I scoured every thrift store on the Mid-Coast to try to find a baby blue suit, baby blue getup, but I ended up buying it from Amazon via Hong Kong. If you're wondering what size I am in Asia, it's 5X. And I'm not lying. And if I'm 5X, Mark Jumper is not buying anything from Hong Kong.
USA!
I also learned, there's a lot of various things you can find in Asia. I'm sure a lot of people can fit in Asia. All right, that's enough.
Really? Nobody talks about my work.
We're just getting warmed up. You're fine, and that wasn't so bad, was it? That wasn't so bad. I could expand on it, but I'm not going to. We were actually lucky enough to get Jumper here tonight, but we just used our old trick. He told Ann he was going to bed, and he snuck out and picked him up from the cabinet. I mean, it's tough with a guy like Jumper, though. He's not very reliable. He's over a month late for his own birthday event. At least we know for a fact that he was not working, mostly because he does not work. As we know,
That's the best it's gonna get, folks. I'm just gonna tell you.
Ben doesn't have a real job, and he still lives at home in his parents' basement. The real joke here is that there's a locksmith behind the scenes changing the locks at the house, and you're screwed. And you know, Jumper, it's time to cut the umbilical cord. You guys know that Jumper was breastfed until 3? I mean, who knows what he did with the rest of his afternoon? But now together, that's good. And if you're waiting forcing on your parents to get into a nursing home so you don't have roommates. That's not going to work. You still living at home is as constricting for your parents as your genes are for you. The worst part of this night is that I'm going to have to cut my set short to get this fucker home by curfew. Remember, because he still lives with his parents. And he's living a great life, world traveler, former Marine, all those things, but now he's met a lovely lady from Belgium, Valentina. She couldn't be here with us tonight, but they're working through a long-distance relationship. I know. They tried phone sex, but it didn't work. The holes in the phone were too small. And eventually, Valentina would just take the orgasm to save on the phone bill. And there's no way a lovely lady like Valentina has slept with 61 men, but for some reason she still refers to Ben as her 62nd man. And how do you guys get in fights online when you're away from each other? I mean, don't you dare type at me in that tone of voice. Ben Stowe's in a long-distance relationship, too. His girlfriend is just somewhere in the distant future. Scotty Bluin used to be in a long-distance relationship, but then he moved the refrigerator to the bedroom. Jumpers told me about some of his frustrations when he travels, and he says it bothers him when people say that America is the stupidest country in the world, and Jumper's response is always, no, Europe is the stupidest country in the world.
That one wasn't good.
Yeah, Ben's gonna get mad when someone finally explains all these jokes to him, but I don't have the time or the crayons to go over all this again. Ben Stowe is here tonight. He recently said in a Facebook post that he could be described as R&R and D&D. D&D, of course, being Dungeons and Dragons. And Ben, if you didn't have a child, there would be no proof of you ever getting laid.
Have you done a fraternity test?
That's a joke for another day. A great voice, though, and it's great to watch what you're working on in your fledgling music career. But looking at you, you're the type of guy on The Voice where they'd hit the button to turn around and see who's singing, and then he's turned back around when they find out. How does Ben Stowe stop people from pirating his music? I guess he'll cross that bridge when it gets to it. And Stowe, just because you're a dad doesn't mean you need to fully embrace the dad bod. Scotty, you got no right to laugh at this. At least he's a dad. You're just out of shape without an excuse. The only exercising you'd be doing is exercising Tabasco out of your ass after wing night. And with Stowe's gaming background, it's safe to say you've drank as much Mountain Dew as Scotty looks like he's drank. Yeah. The only thing you've turned on lately is your Xbox console.
Is this right over?
Travis is down there. Fuck, I gotta write my shit.
Tony T made it here tonight. Good to see you, brother. Tony and Kimmy have started some beautiful families that they can't wait to get away from. Guys, guess what I did with my free time today? Whatever the fuck I wanted. From everything I've heard, making kids is fun, raising kids is not so fun. So I'll just keep practicing in the meantime and master the dad joke, and that's probably where I'll cap it for a bit. Sorry, you've got grandkids on the way. You'll get some down the road as well. Scotty Bluin's here. He makes tampons for a living. It's true. But it's tough to make jokes about tampons.
Wesley's like, yeah! I use them every day!
He's good. No, I'm just getting warmed up, brother. It's tough to make jokes about tampons because they're all stuck up. Country music has always been a fan of... He's a big fan of Rascal Flatts. See what I did? No bad words in a sec. But I'm back on task now, discussing menstruation. And there were no way to make a funny joke about menstruation Period.
I saw what you did there.
Now let's talk about Scotty's sex life. This shouldn't take long. Rumor has it Scotty cries during sex. It must be the pepper spray. Scotty's sex life is like a Ferrari. Scotty doesn't have a Ferrari. If Scotty's sex life were a syndrome, it'd be carpal tunnel. More carpal, less tunnel. Scotty jacks off so much, they called it practice baiting until he came around. Speaking about shaking out some knuckle children, Jumper told me about that one time that his dad, Mark, pulled him aside and talked to him a little bit about the birds and the bees and about masturbation. And he says, if you continue to masturbate like this, you're going to go blind. Dad, I'm over here.
I didn't have my glasses on.
Mark, as we know, sells vacuums for a living. I'm a better comedian to just say that his job really sucks. But I will say that he has plenty of satisfied customers because everyone that walks into the vac shack finds a quality dirtbag. And man, oh man, Mark, 6 kids. You've been breeding for the better part of 3 decades. Never used a condom in your life. You don't know a thing about contraceptives. Mark Jumper used to use contraceptives like Courtney Gladue used to use sunscreen. Courtney, did you used to use sunscreen?
That burns, Bob. I didn't go
Oh, that one burned. I see the Vac Shack is now locally sponsoring the local football team. It's great that you can finally get behind a football team that has a chance. Maybe the Vac Shack can get through the 4th quarter without throwing interceptions. The Cowboys, on the other hand, haven't been quite so impressive.
Working on better coaching.
Why don't the Cowboys have a website? They can't seem to string 3 W's together. How many Cowboys does it take to change a light bulb? No one knows. They just keep talking about how good the old one was. Or maybe you Cowboys are like one of Scotty's tampons, good for only 1 period and no second string. Mark Jumper was a little down in the dumps the other day. He speaks with his lovely wife Ann. He's looking in the mirror and he says, Ann, all I see is an old, fat, bald, washed-up guy. I really need you to give me a compliment, pick me back up, and get me back to where I need to be. And Ann says to him, well, your vision's pretty perfect.
I had my glasses on. What are you laughing at?
And back to the younger Jumper. You're on the fast track to being the.
We're not done?
We're back to you, and then we'll bounce back around. You're on the fast track to being the old guy with the ponytail, talking about how good you used to be. Ray Putnam type. You've got all this hair, and you're a world traveler who's been everywhere but the barber. And we're pretty sure the man bun is just a means of compensating for the fact that you're sharing a hairline with the clown from It. Which is pretty rough coming from a guy sharing a hairline with a clown from It. That's it. Speaking of said man bun, it's crazy how you take pride in having that ridiculous fucking man bun. Having the best man bun is like being the tallest midget, or like breaking an indoor track record for pissing off the coaching staff and doing more push-ups than anybody. That was a pretty good day. We had a special effort that day.
Inside joke there.
Yeah. It'd be like having the coolest Dodge Neon on the road. Nick Oliphant was supposed to be here for that one.
Sorry, dude.
And what are we working on with this sense of style you're working on? You're towing the line between indie and homeless. And overall, there's no reason for you not to have a good sense of style. You should have picked up a couple pointers while spending all the time in the closet. And so you know, these are not what we meant when all the guys are talking about trying to get in girls' pants.
I wore the
I knew you'd be wearing gay pants, so it worked. Another layup. Ben Stowe, Tony T, and Jumper all decide to hit the town and go visit some women of the night. For starters, they're in deep shit to begin with. But Ben goes in and comes out and talks about what happened in the room there with the lady, and he's like, yes, you put a powdered donut on my unit. And then Tony T goes out and says, yeah, they put a glazed donut on my unit. And then Jumper comes out with a $2 bill, and you're like, what's that all about? He's like, she told me to go get a box of Cheerios. And more on Tony T. He is the Van Wilder of Rensselaer. It took this guy 12 years to get a 4-year degree. Tony T, when your parents told you to set the bar high, they didn't mean to set the bar high. And you know, Tony T was supposed to be here on this dais with us here tonight, but you're not going to believe this. He didn't do his homework, so he wasn't prepared for class. And growing up, Tony T was always the ringleader with a creative mind behind us doing stupid shit. And most of the time, it wasn't malicious necessarily. We were just bored, and we liked almost getting in trouble. Like what is the benefit to us lighting tennis balls on fire and playing tennis at the LHS tennis court? Nothing. But here's the thing with Tony T. When we actually do get in trouble, one, his parents had a knack for catching us. They were good. But whenever we'd finally get lectured and we're getting that verbal licking, Tony T had this magic power to just fall asleep. I'm not lying. We're getting it. Tony's sleeping through the whole lashing. No bullshit. Tony T sleeps through the whole thing. Tony's ability to fall asleep on command would have saved Bill Cosby a lot of Quaaludes. I like having Tony T at this event because he always laughs at my jokes. That's good.
I thought so.
Tony T, growing up, has grown into one of the hairiest guys I've ever met. If Tony got any hairier, Bob Barker would pressure him to become spayed and neutered. And Timmy would probably vote for that right now. A few years back, I did have a privilege of being one of Tony T's groomsmen. It was on that very day that he was able to find that there was one food that completely destroys a woman's sex drive. Wedding cake. Tony and Kimmy were relaxing the other night, and Tony leans into Kimmy and says, when I die, I'm going to leave everything to you. You already do that, Tony. LeBron made it as well. He was a late ad. We're happy to have him here.
Hey, thank you.
The one man who is impossible to underestimate. And looking at you, LeBron, it's hard to believe that God made us in his own image. Overall, we can all thank Willy Wonka for letting the little guy out of the chocolate factory. But enough of the small talk. Time to make fun of Travis LeBron. Brought some encyclopedias so we can get to Tonium tonight. When he gets mad, don't get short with me, young man. What's the difference between LeBron and LeBron? You can start with about 16 inches. Let's talk about the height difference. Well, we're going to move on to the second speaker of the night. A boob, a vagina, and an asshole are arguing over who is the greatest and why. The boob says, I give milk to babies and I'm attractive to the men. That's why I'm the greatest. The vagina says, I give birth to babies and I accommodate the men. That's why I'm the greatest. Mark Jumper, it's your turn to tell people why you're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Jumper.
Nice job, buddy. Nice job. Nice job.
Bob, you forgot your toilet paper over here. Buddy.
Oh yeah, I'll need that.
You're ready.
You're on the ropes.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Bobby. It's really nice to see you. I'm glad you dug way back in your closet to get that outfit back.
I've been hiding there with it.
You've been hiding in the closet, that doesn't surprise me. You know, Bobby's relationships are what now, Bob?
I get it as often as you do.
It's nice to be up here. It's nice to see everybody tonight. I do want to say before we get started here that I do want to say happy birthday to Ben, even though it's, you know, a little bit late. Ben has a way of disappearing for every birthday. You know, Ben disappears for every birthday. He likes to travel around the world when he's not living in my basement. I started building a room in the basement about, oh God, it was between hockey season and baseball season or something. So it never really got finished. We got the sheetrock up on the walls, and it was a good-sized room down in the basement. And one day Ben shows up and he says, "Hey, goes, you know, can I have that bedroom? You know, I want to move out of my bedroom and use that." And Ann and I talked about it. We thought, you know, that's fine if he wants to go down there. We can go down in the basement. We didn't know he'd be there for 15 more years.
2 houses later.
Bobby alluded to his girlfriend. Wonderful girl. Long-distance relationship is the best thing for Ben. I think if they were closer together, I'm not sure how much more she could take of Ben on a consistent basis. Ben in little doses I know works out well. That's why he has such a large group of friends.
Really good at little doses.
Little doses. And I think when Ben calls Courtney, then Courtney's like, fuck. She's on the phone. Scotty, Ben's calling me. I don't have time to deal with that. Scotty's like, no. I got things to do. I don't have time to go pick up Ben. I used to wonder why, and I had conversation with these guys for years. Why? And I love Ben. Ben's my son. Well, I have to love him because he is my son. That's part of it. Why they love him, I've had a hard time understanding, and I used to ask them that. And I said, well, because Ben tells us we have to love him. So that's the way it goes. You know, when Bobby picks on Tony, talking about him being the ringleader, some of the trouble that they got in, generally I'm thinking that most of the conversations that Tony had, Ben had to change the directions about 5 times before they finally got Tony to do what he wanted him to really do in the first place.
Back up, bro.
Ben is excellent talking people. For anybody that knows Ben, especially his friends, great at talking people into doing things. Scotty used to complain to me, and I text Scotty, I said, why do you do it, Scotty? Why do you do it? He says, because my phone just blows up. And I keep getting these text messages, where are you? Supposed to be here 15 minutes ago. You know? So Scotty gets ready, he runs over to the house, he goes to pick up Ben. Ben comes out, hold on, I gotta go take a shower. What was up with that, Scotty? Are you still here?
Yeah, well, he's pretty.
Shout out to Ben Stowe, he came in from the lumberyard today. So.
I know, right?
He's got the lumberjack shirt looking on. Travis, pay attention, I'm talking. We'll talk to Courtney later. Love you in Game of Thrones, by the way, buddy. Good job. He's available for all your child parties. Don't wear a heel so you know which one he is. Right? There you go. Put some socks on too, would you? Did Bobby do a great job tonight? Did Bobby do a great job tonight? Thank you, Bobby. I had the distinct pleasure years ago to coach Bobby in hockey. An adventure like you've never seen. Coach Tony and I, we decided we're going to make Bobby our captain. He's responsible, good kid, works hard, you know, always on the ice. We're up at a rink in Waterville. We got there a little bit late. We're rushing to get on the ice. We're waiting for players to come out of the locker room. I'm talking to the coach across the way, and Tony's talking to the coach, and all of a sudden, I haven't got to you yet, realize. Anyway, so we're waiting. We're talking to the players. We're talking to the coach about our players, and we're bragging them up. You know, we got some great players. We got, you know, our captain. You know, he's our leader. You know, big, strong kid, and all of a sudden here comes Bobby running down the aisle to get into the ice, and he's trying to get dressed real fast, so he's got his helmet in one hand, he's got, you know, stick over here, he's got his shirt half on, he goes to step on the ice, and never took his skate guards off. On his ass. Equipment all over the place. And the coach looks at us, and that's your best player? We're all set. And Bob, you did make a mistake with Ben with his hairline. You know, his face is getting bigger, he's not losing hair. That's what happened here. My face got a little bit bigger. But you know what? That's
What are you going to tell yourself?
Bobby, when you have this, that's a good thing.
Money maker, right?
That's a good thing. That works. I don't want to take up too much time because we're going to have to move this table a little bit so that Scotty can get in behind it.
Go to your meatball, Mark.
Go play some pool, Wesley. Just don't bring Ken as your partner. It's not good. It's not good. For Jamie, I want to say, Jamie, thank you for coming tonight, taking some pictures. Because maybe he didn't have a choice, I'm sure Ben probably said. Jamie, you have to be there. I have other family obligations, Ben said, I don't give a shit what you got to do. I don't give a shit what you got to do. And poor Jamie, I don't know how many people know Jamie. Ben, in his career, takes does some videography work.
Smarter, not harder.
But he's always looking for people to help him, so he calls poor Jamie. And he abuses poor Jamie, and he yells at Jamie. And he's all over Jamie. Because when they're driving away from the jobs, it's like he's apologized, sorry, Jamie, so Jamie's figured, okay, that's great, I got invited to the party tonight. It's like, oh, it's kind of a, a little bit of a, make up for, all the abuse that I had to put up with Ben. It's like, well, Ben said, well, no, you're not really invited. You just need somebody to take pictures of this party, and I don't want to take my own fucking pictures. So welcome, Jamie. Thank you very much. Do a good job. No matter what you're going to do, he's going to criticize it later on, right? Tebow Brothers, how's it going in the house over there? Nice. Nice to see you. Courtney, I don't care what Bobby said. It was wrong. It was wrong. Don't worry about Bobby. Bobby's relationships, and this was always a funny thing growing up. Bobby always had to have every girl he was interested in had to go for a DNA test. I don't know if anybody knew that. Because Bobby's related probably to everybody in this room. I mean, the Labby family parties include 27 other names, and they have to rent out bingo halls just to have a Christmas dinner. And if you don't have a ticket, you get turned away at the door. It's like, I'm a cousin, it doesn't matter, you were too late. So Bobby was always very concerned about that when he was asking girls out. And it's like, I gotta check and make sure that they're not actually your relatives. How's that working for you, Bobby?
Still looking.
Still Steve.
Related to everybody if it isn't.
And the biggest problem Bobby has is I got a right hand, left hand. He goes, but I'm pretty sure I'm related to them too. But really, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Enjoy some food. The only reason I came is because I had to pay for half of that stuff. Right, half. Yeah, just half of that. Okay. Just like, Wesley, go play some pool. I don't need to hear from you.
I got some money.
Huh?
Somewhere.
But really, thank you all for coming, and it's great. Ben is my first son, and I do have to be very nice because I do go home with his mother tonight. I can't say best because Thomas is here too, and you know how she feels about it. Ben and Thomas do have 4 other sisters. Raise your hands if you're here.
We don't know your names. Just raise your hands.
Luann never had that problem. She just said, no, he's not mine. I married the father, he came with him. I don't know where, because Tony can't deny him. That hair's falling back further, and that 5X, that's about the last size you're going to be able to wear that suit.
If we do this road next year, I'll need a new suit.
There we go. So thank you all for coming. Have a good evening tonight. Am I supposed to introduce the lumberjack now?
If you got a good line, introduce a lumberjack.
Ben Stowe, and Ben Stowe. It's funny when you look at when I look at this. Might not be as much to you guys. Bobby and Ben, athletes, always played sports together. That was their connection. Scotty, I guess getting drunk together. I guess that's an activity.
Thanks
You know,
for
and
thanks for canceling my
chauffeuring,
addictions.
you know, Scotty was a chauffeur for a long time for Ben. I don't, do you have your license back now?
No.
No, yeah. Still
Help
working
me
on
lead to
that.
my own destruction.
How
Thank
much-
you.
how much-
Still, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh, I know.
He does get, how much time do you get for throwing up on a cop?
Oh, 0. It's called a deferred deposition.
Deferred, remember that. So if anybody throws up on a cop, call Scotty, he'll let you know how to deal with it.
It's called $4,000 in a lawyer.
And I did forget that micro on the end there. You know, Micro played hockey with Ben for a long time. Another quick hockey story that's kind of funny. When he moved up to Pee Wee's, I was a coach. He was scared to death to get hit. Didn't want to hit anybody, but he was only about, you know, and Ben was the smallest guy on the team most of the time, so he loved it when Travis showed up. Because in the locker room, they all started giving shit to Ben about this, and he'd point, Travis, oh. Travis never outgrew that. Scared to death to get hit, so on the bench one day, I just told Travis to just go out there. I said, don't worry about the puck. Don't worry about anything else. I said, just go hit the first guy you see. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be bad. You know, because the first guy he saw was wearing the same jersey as us, so he kicked his ass. So I got to be a little bit more, you know, specific about that stuff. But a group of great guys up here, you know, all had different relationships with Ben. Ben Stowe and Ben have that kind of creative connection. You know, they go way back, all the way to elementary school. So it's great to see all you guys here. I'm glad you're here. Thank you first, but we're going to bring up Ben Stowe now.
Be nice, man.
A few moments later.
All right, I just want to lead off. It's really great that everyone can be here. I'm just really happy we found a venue that can fit all of the jumpers in it. Really great. It's not often that you can do that. And you know, what a family, Mr. J, seriously. What a wonderful and numerous family you have. They're all great. I know some of them. I've known Ben for 20 years. I don't know all of you. But listen, I've always thought if there was a jumper family crest, and is there a jumper family crest?
Actually, there's a funny story about that. When Ben was in the military, he pays somebody $500. He calls all and say, hey, we're going to get a family crest. It's like, that family crest still hasn't showed up at the fucking house.
I have some input though. If it's still a commission open, I think we should have one rabbit on top of another rabbit. I just think it would work pretty well. It's my suggestion.
Sexy rabbit, right?
Right, exactly. And then, you know, I just want to say, the Jumpers may be the only Caucasian family in America this numerous, this Catholic, with a son that looks like he should be named Jesus. It's rare you find that. You know, but honestly, I'm just really glad you guys invited me up to make fun of you. Two of the Jumpers included. I'm going easy on Mr. J mostly because I'm still scared of him from when I was a kid. But I want to address our roast master real quick. I just want to defend and maybe incriminate myself. Listen, he's right. I'm a single guy, but some might say ruggedly handsome. I don't manage to get out that much. I'm a dad, I know. But I'll tell you a little bit about peek into my personal life. There's not a single female beautiful bartender in Southern Maine that I haven't dated. I just want to point out, hi Tamika. Hi Tamika. Literally the mother of my daughter. Not a joke. Please tip her. I know, tip her really well. She's gonna murder me later. Really, yeah. I didn't think she was gonna hear that joke when I wrote it. Anyway, that was killing me. Bobby, listen, it's been such a long time since I've seen you. You know, really, it's been a long time since we've seen each other or anyone anywhere seen your hairline. I just can't tell where the hair starts and it stops. Listen, if you're 30 looking like this, by 40, you're going to be trying to murder two hobbits and steal their ring. This guy's face looks like he pre-registered on the sex offender list. It's not a face a mother should love, it's a face a mother uses to warn people about deep rape. I don't think Bobby's had a female consent without alcohol since high school. Speaking of high school, who would have thought you'd go from, you know, this athlete, class president, to a guy who hands out wine coolers from a windowless van in front of a high school? Quite the transition.
200 feet away from the high school.
Right. Anyway,
I've got rules. Yeah.
enough on Bobby. He's a great sport. He killed me. I gotta get him. Travis, listen, we don't really know each other well. I'm glad you could come from the Entourage movie set to join us. It's great. I've met Travis maybe once in life. I already came up with like 2 or 3 jokes about within 30 seconds, which is pretty telling about it. And you know, he genuinely seems like a nice guy. We'll see. Really, but the thing is, I'm all about highbrow comedy, and I just didn't want to leave the low-hanging fruit. I just felt like someone else could get those. Maybe, I don't know. And I didn't want to take the low road and make short jokes, because they'd probably go over your head. I don't feel good about that. What I mean to say is I figured I'd do the classy thing here, and since I don't know you really well, I wouldn't, you know, really reach for jokes, because, I don't know, reaching's probably a sore spot for you. Anyway, on to the man of the evening. The Ben Jumper himself. What a guy. What's there to say about this dirty ball of hair sitting next to us? This guy looks like he's eaten more magic mushrooms than the Mario Brothers. He looks like old bong water smells. Seriously, I once got contact high from a handshake with him. It was just, I'm sorry for this one. His girlfriend can't even blow him without a syringe of Narcan by the bedside. I'm sorry. No, but seriously, we're kidding. We all love you. We support you. We've all written you letters about how much we care, and we hope you take this gift of rehabilitation seriously. This guy looks like the after photo that they used to scare kids in the DARE program. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, this guy also loves to travel. We've talked about that. He's been everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean everywhere currently on the World Health Organization's Ebola watch list. He's got sandals that have stepped foot in more countries than UNICEF.
That's too smart for these people.
He'd have been kidnapped and ransomed by now if he didn't look like the bottom of someone's Birkenstocks after a Grateful Dead show. There are kids in Ecuador who sponsor him for $1 a day. So, anyway, enough about the fact that he looks like the only Jesus Christ no one would nail. Anyway, this guy is such a talented photographer and videographer. I mean, am I right? He does great work. Right? He's taken himself his gear. He's taken himself his gear and he's droned all over continents. Seriously. Have you guys ever talked about politics? He just drones on. That joke was awful, but I loved it. Alright, anyways. He's constantly trying to build his brand and his following. He'd film an ISIS execution if it got him more followers. He's so hungry for work to be seen, he's submitting footage for North Korean propaganda films. Even they're too worried that it's maybe a little too anti-capitalistic for them. Just a touch, I don't know. Alright, and this is my last one, and this is my main one. Ben is so shameless about trying to get his videos seen, he would film, produce, and promote his parents' sex tape if he thought there was a market for it. Anyway, Ben, seriously, we've been friends for over 20 years at this point. You're a wonderful human being. Yeah, I didn't get signed up on that joke, to be clear. Which is the joke my mom said, hey, that's going to be really funny. You're not invited to any other Jumper stuff after this. There's no chance at all at any point. But Ben, I really love you, man. And, you know, I always think it's interesting. We went off, you went to the military. I went to the Berklee College of Music. You say the when you're trying to be really pretentious about your school. But, you know, I got to play with a bunch of these famous people, you know, famous Grammy winners, Dr. Dre's keyboardist. And before that, you were probably the least talented person I've ever performed with ever. But I haven't seen LeBron's set, so I'm just going to hang on for like a minute. Anyway, oh man, my Scotty jokes. Scotty. Oh, you're not done yet, buddy. Where's my Scott jokes? Oh, I got some stuff for him. Scotty, listen. No, he backed out, so I cut and added it back. Anyway, Scotty, I just want to say, and I don't have a lot for you because, you know, you're a genuinely nice person. Unlike everyone else up here. But listen, he's literally half the man he used to be. No, he used to look like a bag stuffed full of shit. Now he looks like a bag half stuffed full of shit. It's great. Really, he's done a lot. He probably has so much hairy excess skin, he looks like Lavi's sack. Anyway. Thank you guys for letting me be here and do this and write some bad jokes for you guys. I appreciate it. Well done, Ben Stowe. Well done. Everyone that heard and understand pretended to laugh. You were great. On to our next roaster of the night.
Hold on. Yes, please give me some room.
Let's give the man some room here.
I got you, buddy.
We're trying to keep
You got a chair so I can sit down?
People get upset at some of my jokes. Next time I do a roast, everyone's going to take a knee and protest. For our next roaster, if 3 people having sex is called a threesome, 2 people having sex is called a twosome, now Scotty will understand why anyone calls him handsome. The only man to put a question mark where God put a period, Scotty Boone.
Bobby, you are something else.
Wow.
Bobby, you are my hero.
Good thing my self-esteem doesn't matter. That's because of you guys. First off, I just want to start off, Mike, go fuck yourself. No real reason other than just to go fuck yourself. Bob, I do need to say this to you, and I hope you don't take offense, but when you leaned in to talk to me earlier, your breath smells like an old woman farted through an onion. You fucking terrible.
Like tequila.
It's not a blooming onion. I didn't get that close to it. LeBron, I want you to know that I kind of knew that your set would lead into me just a lot because, you know, you always go for the low-hanging fruit. And so I'm not going to do that for you. I only really have one general insult for you, and, you know, I hope you enjoy it. Especially the way you're dressed now, you look like a kind of guy that would punch a red box machine because they didn't have their favorite Fast and Furious movie. You look like Paul Walker's, just a little bit. Just saying. Oh, I'm sorry. And for the most part, like, I really didn't consider roasting anybody else besides Ben, because frankly, your opinions are all shit, and I don't really know you. Just kind of thought it was funny, you all leaving everybody else, and what you said about Ben, just, Bobby, I'll give you credit, that was good, but for the most part, the other two, you guys suck ass. I don't even have that many things to say, I'm just going to kind of start saying mean things about Ben, I hope you all enjoy it. I love you too, buddy, but you kind of look like something that would grow up after a homeless man ejaculated into a media dish. Your attitude about life is clearly reflective of how many fuck me. Your whole attitude about life is clearly based on how many participation trophies you got in your whole life. Sorry, butcher that one.
You got it.
Something you shared with your dad that would mean to say this to you. You're both got these fucking teeth that could definitely look like they plow a whole front yard full of snow. It's like I don't understand what's going on, but you both, I don't know. Just saying. Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, no, right? That's fine. Ben, I will give you credit. Out of all your entire family members, you're probably the most liberal, which, you know, in your house is obviously a bad word, but we'll go on with that. Which is what I don't understand, because your entire family looks like they ate an entire piece of coal and dumped out a fucking diamond because they're so uptight. I just don't get how you're
Burn on my family.
You're all burn! Make a burn!
Fuck them!
It's like all I
have notes, and it's just mostly just insults about you, buddy. So we're gonna keep going. I mean, it's you can see from everybody here that clearly, you know, you have a lot of friends, and I've been meaning to ask a couple of folks what's really led them to come here. And I think your father covered it best. No one can get away from you. And it is, no matter what they do, I think you always bring them back in, whether they like it or not. And half the reason why I'm here, I tried to lie to you guys about something that happened in my family. You still wouldn't even let me know you. I got a text message telling me I better come because LeBron's whole set, based on my fat face and my fucking body weight and smell, I can't really do much about it. If I'm not here, LeBron has no material, so that just kind of goes along with me. But, you know, glad I can show you that better attention to me still. You got nothing bad to say about Ben, so you pick on the low-hanging fruit. We're fucking clever, smart pants. I'm sure. Well, you're making funny with your story. I just don't even understand. I'm just gonna go with it.
Give it!
Travis, you can't even get up there now.
I know, right? It's how it's gonna go. I will say this, Ben. You are pretty persuasive, right? No matter what we do, no matter what I could say, I can have an opinion that's actually backed by true fucking facts. And no matter what you say, I would be wrong. So, but it's a little confusing because nothing you've ever said has made sense, and no one actually believes anything you say. You look like you sell drugs on the back of the van all the time.
Why? Against the rules.
Is it? I don't believe you on that one, man. People don't know. Thank you, buddy. That's good. I don't know if any of you noticed this. Ben's got beautiful long hair that just keeps flowing to the back of his head just below them. But you kind of look like if all three Hanson brothers fucked, and then you would be the outcome of that. Nope, I'm just saying. I'm not doing that right now. Sorry. You can get it after. I'm just saying. Fuck me again. I know, man. Just saying. So what else we got? Ben, you definitely have a small anger issue. Pretty sure that's accurate, actually. So there's just one time I don't know how to explain this to you. Driving back because I was the chauffeur, of course. So we come to a stop sign. He's dating this girl who's actually very sweet and nice, and he's yelling, "Left, left, go left, left, left!" He screams, and we're like, Ben, Jesus. Sorry, stop yelling. I'm not yelling! This is me yelling! And then he kind of goes on for a 5-minute tangent about how he didn't just yell at us while he yelled at us.
I can't believe you went there.
Yeah, Mark, man, I kind of do have to bring this up a little bit. I do have to at least... Hey, it's okay, just keep talking to me back. Yeah. I do need to bring this up. I mean, clearly everyone knows that I must have had a, run-in with the law. We'll bring that up. I clearly got a little drinking problem. But no one's talking about it. I'm gonna talk about it. But you won't gonna give me a hard time. But it's your fault a little bit. I'm trying to your basement a little bit. Ben to help me out. Just saying.
I didn't drive your fucking car, dude.
I didn't look at you, dumbass!
I'm sorry.
You got guilty conscience? Did you drive my car?
It's not the Travis LeBron roast. Tell her.
Oh shit, yeah, sorry LeBron. I'll give you time to roast me later. I apologize.
Right.
But man, I generally, I have to say this, it was really hard for me to think of stuff to say that was mean. I actually think very highly of you, which is odd because I don't think anyone else might have. I know the lie. You gotta kind of spew it. But after looking at you today, I'll kind of leave on this note, is that I kind of understand now why... It's alright, dude, don't pay attention, it's not that fucking important. If you want, we can just keep... I'll just keep talking. You're flipping Courtney off, huh? That's good.
Hey, awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Nice work, buddy.
Oh no, we got something.
I did not.
Scotty never quite did learn how to finish.
Cheeseburgers all the time, bro.
Well, other than finishing a meal, you finished that, but that's... Oh, we can put the table back, yeah.
What do you mean? Lower it down, assholes.
Lower it down. I didn't bring any encyclopedias, so.
You are,
Yeah, we'll put a chair up.
Fuck Travis.
no, I love that.
Travis LeBron.
LeBron is next. I remember the time that LeBron went to jail, and it actually got pretty ugly. He started shouting insults everywhere and throwing feces against the wall. Well, that was the last time we played Monopoly with Travis LeBron.
Thank you. Actually, one second.
Did you see over that table? Yeah, did you get him a stool? No, he's got one. Does he got one? No. He's burning himself, ladies and gentlemen.
Now you're driving a Chevy. That's what it feels like.
Wes, man, thank God I didn't invite my black friends to me. I did not know him until like 5 minutes ago.
There's a guy in the darkness of the corner that's not very happy right now.
Can you guys all shut the fuck up? To be honest, I didn't think I had enough material tonight.
Hold the microphone to your mouth.
Like a little closer?
Yeah,
like
you go.
you like microphones close to your mouth, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just pretend, yeah.
I didn't think I'd have enough material tonight
closer to the mouth.
until I realized that Scott was going to be here. So, Scott, is it really you tonight? Or is it relationship Scott?
She's working.
Carly's not here, right?
God, no, I'm not dumb enough.
Thank fucking God. For those of you who don't know who relationship Scott is, look at him. Single Scott's fucking wild. I've seen Single Scott puke in the cup at a bar and proceed to take that cup and put it back in the bar in front of the bartender and ask for another fucking drink. Single Scott passed out on, I'm just going to estimate a little bit, I want to say at least 8 bathroom floors. We had to wake him up one time, we thought he was dead. We punched him in the stomach when he stopped breathing. It's like, hello, Scott's back. Okay. Yeah, and Scott took down like at least what, 3 badminton nets, like tripped into 3 hot tubs, 2 hot tubs, and then I don't even want to talk about the fucking rope swings, dude. Fuck, dude, this is like too easy. Like, I love to roast Ben, but I'm just gonna roast you tonight. Relationship Scott, that dude goes to brunch. That dude drinks in moderation. That fucking dude says he's working. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the last week that Scott clocked in 40 hours was the year after we graduated high school.
Yeah.
Yo, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, I haven't seen you in a long time. I've seen relationship Scott out quite a bit, man. Wes, what's up, dude? I haven't been.
Sorry.
I haven't seen Single Scott since you lost your balls when you smashed into that fire hydrant. Carly's been keeping them safe and very secure for you. By the way, man, which one came first, that blissful relationship or the DUI?
Oh, definitely the DUI.
Yeah, nice. I mean, from what I remember, Scott was seeing double and asking this townie. It was hilarious at the Goose. Like, yo, you want to share a Sunday with me? No, not very faithful, but honestly, they were adorable together. What happened really though, man? Did that fire hydrant smash your balls so hard out of your man wallet into Carly's purse or what, dude? Yeah, Scott, be real, be real. Yo, now that you have your license back, are you a free man again? Do you even remember what it feels like? You know, that same feeling when you watch Mark Jumper like mow his lawn and shit? No. Yeah.
He's got 9 kids for that.
Yeah.
None of them ever mowed the lawn. He's got in-laws. Goddamn fucking thing.
I mowed the lawn.
I don't even know what lawn.
And now I pay somebody to mow the lawn.
Anyway, yeah, Carly's a sweet girl, man. You know? She's awesome. Yeah.
Sounds like sarcasm.
That's all I got on that one.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yo, did you guys hear about this party that Carly threw for his birthday?
Oh, wait, we're still going.
It was fucking awesme. I'm talking
Scott,
finger
just keep the
rolls,
fucking stool on. Nobody will see what it
meatballs, crock pot with that fancy little like toothpicks to get after it, pulled pork, you know. She brought like what, Power Ranger masks and shit. That was great. It was awesome. I mean, she threw him one hell of a surprise 29th birthday party. Big fucking milestone, okay? That's like having a super sweet 15 on MTV. Like, that shit, dude. Are you kidding me? The icing on the cake was she was like, yeah, Scott, you can stay out past 9:30, but not later than 10. Yeah, that was a pretty wild party though. I had a good time. Scott, well, single Scott would have had a fucking blast. Speaking of that, like, is single Scott even here tonight? Like, if he is, I'm definitely not walking up to that cash bar with him. His wallet's probably still stuck in that car that he smashed into that fire. Don't worry, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna get a collection going for you. Alright? Everyone. Every little bit counts, okay? Alright? This is not only for his drinks tonight, but it's for his help to get out of his mom's house finally. Speaking of mom's houses, Mark and Ann, did you guys adopt those dogs yet? Fucking life Ben's got traveling the world, dating exotic women, dumping your responsibilities on parents with most fucking offspring in the Twin Cities. Come on, Mark, I'm not gonna lie, I've been shooting blanks since sophomore year. What's the fucking secret? Yeah, this guy has fucking super sperm. I don't even get it. I mean, he's shooting 5 for 6. Quality Lewiston athletes, and the one miss that he has is sitting right to his left leg. Ben, now to you. Would you fucking decide already? I want to be a Marine. I love the fucking government. Oh my god. No, I want to be a hippie, man. The government's evil, bro. I like that one, man. Let's go with that. But did you guys hear about 9/11? Yes, Ben. Everyone wants to hear about your conspiracy theories until 3 a.m. Alright, yeah. Good thing he's coaching kids now.
Tony, this is all your fault.
I mean, shit.
Not you, that
I mean, shit. No one's gonna do a background check on a per diem middle school lacrosse coach. Ben, do you even have a social security number anymore? Speaking of kids, how many kids do you think you have in Southeast Asia, bro? Thank God Facebook has not made it to Myanmar. Yo, we're all glad someone fucking finally tied you down, man. Almost as tied down as Scott's been since he smashed into that fire hydrant. Yo, if we're gonna be honest here tonight, Scott's DUI was such a blessing in disguise.
It's a deferred deposition.
Hey, just pay attention, man. I'm still a little bit confused though, so I think the best way to explain this is to break it down with the timeline.
Give it to us, Travis. Give it to us.
Alright, so Scott.
That means you remember it.
So Scott.
Don't encourage everybody.
I want to hear it.
Oh, listen.
Are you guys alright?
You don't know this one yet?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You're too embarrassed.
I want to know. I want to know.
Oh wow.
Do I not have been friends forever?
Yo, Wes, what kind of truck you drive, bro? Scott gets a girlfriend. Things go very south. Scott smashes into a fire hydrant. Then he pukes on himself. Scott loses his license. And then promptly reconciles with his girlfriend who is a licensed driver in the state. Yo, dude! That is awesome, man. I I get it, dude. But like, you have your license back now. You're good now.
Yeah, I'm single.
Is she still gonna come out with us once in a while?
No, I'm single.
That's weird. Alright. Yeah. To be honest, like, I'm thinking my strategy being single in my 20s is like a good strategy. Like, joke's on me, right? Yeah, man. I sure as shit hope they don't sell Sam Adams here. Well, I hope they do, actually. Because I hope they don't sell that cheap swill sea dog that Labby's been pushing. Either way, I know when I get a refill, Scott's gonna be right next to me, reaching for his wallet that he lost in that fucking car he smashed into that fire. Come on, dude. It's been 8 months, dude. Pay a fucking bill, dude. Labby. Hey, what's up, dude?
What it is?
Not much, man. Bright personality, goofiest kid. Like, do you kill people? Seriously, dude. What the fuck is your secret, man? We all know you have one deep in that North Conway woods. Just you, your dog, your imagination.
A lot of mountains back there.
Drinking that shitty ass beer. Mark, how you feeling?
I'm still awake.
Surprisingly.
Thank fucking God. And?
She's off limits.
Would everyone shut the fuck up right now?
Don't do it.
Can you guys all shut up? Shut up. And has Mark been drinking Southern Comfort tonight? Yep. Well, we know how hard Mark can get when he drinks that Southern Comfort. You know? Well, actually, you know how hard Mark can get when he's allowed to drink? We don't need you spilling all the liquor tonight, man. Luckily, we called ahead and all the bottles of Southern Comfort are made of plastic, not glass. So we're all right here. A little inside joke, Mark broke a lot of glasses of Southern Comfort. Like, I wasn't there, someone told me that, and it's all good, Mark. I've been there, man. Hey, Mark.
That's another one of your conspiracy theories.
Right.
T-Bones were there. T-Bones were there. Your wife was there. On new cribbage rules, too.
Wesley made those rules on the. T-Bone was playing badminton. They had no idea what was going on. They were fighting with each other.
Mark, all I know is that all the bottles are plastic, so light's fucking green, bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we want you to get drunk tonight. Well, not too drunk though, like, we need you, like, leaving here, like, we don't need you leaving here siring another child, okay? Like, into another blue athlete, like a blue devil athlete, like, you know, that high school went into, like, you keep fucking putting sperm into people, and then you make babies, and then they're athletes, it's fucking, you know, I mean, shit, you're, like, becoming very close to an NCAA violation. Yo, this fucking guy is on the board of the Boosters, right? He loans his minivans for bottle drives. He runs the fucking snack shack. Owns the back shack. I guess in that business, sucking is great. Especially when you suck as much as a relationship Scott, right? I mean, honestly, I just came here to roast Scott tonight, and so tonight, Ben, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, bro. Oh man, this isn't actually a roast. It's actually an intervention. The IRS is out back. Why don't you pay your fucking taxes?
Are you introducing me?
You're fucking shit. Way to go,
I feel like I'm 12 years older now.
I forgot Benjamin.
I think they're on one right now.
Hey, Scotty, happy birthday.
No, he won't. He's feeling very unprepared.
Knock Travis down a little more. Well, you know what's interesting? This opportunity kind of gave me a chance to look back at my friendship with Ben, and I do consider Ben a best friend, and I'm not sure when we became best friends. It could have been in high school, could have been. I mean, we weren't really. Well, we might not be. I don't know. Well, we made a lot of nicknames for a lot of people. Little Debbie and Skull Crusher.
Oh my God! What?
That's life. I mean, we can't live. We
McDonald's Supreme.
a lot of us live a 9 to 5, but we don't necessarily want to. And the important part that I think made Jumper and I friends is kind of making an adventure out of everyday situation. We'd go to a bakery, and we nicknamed Little Debbie and Betty Crocker, the two ladies that worked there, and we'd have a blast. And we'd go to McDonald's after poker, and there was Skull Crusher and Ann. Ann wasn't a nickname, that was actually just her name. But after I took all these guys' money, we'd go and spend like $3. Again, Chauncey the Retard, my old 92 Pontiac Grand Am. But yeah, I mean, we live life to the fullest. We've always found adventure together, and that's kind of why I think we've been great friends. And in closing, Jump, we love you, but we don't tell you enough because.
Bobby, hold on. I think Travis has more to say. Did you have something else to say?
Just become a resident, bro.
You good?
Yeah.
Become a resident, and fuck you, Scotty. And yeah, we all love you, sort of, but we don't tell you enough because we're nervous that they don't make fedoras big enough. Ladies and gentlemen, and Jump.
Hang on to your ass, man.
Let me be quick. I gotta take a piss. Let's go.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pretty sure he'll be quick.
We all get
Good for you, Mike.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie.
We gotta make it to the bathroom.
I can't compete with a guy like Bobby.
That was funny.
The rest of
You've
the guys
always
I
been
can
second
compete
best.
with, but Bobby,
You're
I
so
can't
funny,
compete.
Bobby. You crush it.
Bobby, you killed it.
Put the microphone in your mouth.
Always, bruh.
Check. So
Check,
thank
1,
you
2.
for everybody to coming tonight to take part in my self-humiliation, and you got entertainment off that. So I'm glad that you guys wanted to enjoy this. Special thanks to Asia, my big sis.
Thanks, Asia.
I know me and her have talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
I discussed for many.
So she had to do it because he told her that.
I'm out.
Mark, sit down, bro.
I told you I gotta go.
Go for it, Mark.
He's just doing what he normally does in my life and just walks away. I didn't even have that one written down.
There's no more in the tank. Oh, there isn't?
We've talked about this many times. Like I've always discussed when I got married for my 30th birthday, I said, you know, it'd be really cool to have like a rose.
Did you ever talk about marriage?
Married for my 30th.
Dude, she's in Europe.
Is this something we don't know?
For my 30th birthday, I thought this would be a really cool idea to like, kind of have a roast and let people come and embarrass you in front of everybody. That was a bad idea to let you guys all know that. But when me and her talked about it, we always talked about it's like, who would be the roast master? Like, who would you have as the roast master? And of course, the GOAT. That's the only thing I could think of was the GOAT. And sadly enough, after we talked to legends, they wouldn't allow animals in the building. We couldn't get a goat to host us. So we went with the fourth best guy. And what a fucking suit he's got on, right? Thanks, Bob. All right, I see you. I'm gonna slow down because I gotta sift through my notes here.
How come he's getting notes?
Sorry. No, but Bob, the suit is good. I want to say you honestly look like a hangover taste. I love you. And your performance up here has been just as disappointing as I thought it would. Well, that's just a joke because you killed it.
Yeah, you did.
It's almost as disappointing. Your performance is almost as disappointing as Ben Stowe being on the panel at all. I I really have no idea why Ben's here. I think my sister just blindly went off and was like, best friends over the last 30 years, Google search, go. And it still popped up. So, I'm glad to hear, Ben.
Sure enough, we didn't have anything to do tonight.
Well, no, don't get me wrong, Bobby. Ben wasn't actually supposed to be here tonight. Ben got lost on his way to host a D&D tournament at Zimmy's. But he ended up here, so
I rolled really bad.
we're happy to have you, Ben. We're happy to have you. I just hope, Ben, I just really hope that both of your Facebook Live friends are not upset that you're not performing tonight. You know, I know the love heartbreak songs are something that I look for. Sit down.
No, not yet.
Yeah, nothing that great.
Has he got to the good stuff yet?
But hey, speaking of disappointment, horrible performances, and having no talents, my vertically challenged friend Travis LeBron is here. Travis, for those of you who don't know Travis or can't see Travis, don't be alarmed. He's old enough to be in the bar. He's just bite-sized. Travis, I gotta say, brother, I'm really impressed, man. You had like an hour to talk and you didn't speak once about growing marijuana. For all his friends, they would get that joke right there. You know?
I don't do that, dude.
The florist.
But I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I know things didn't work out with you and Bono. Bono's here tonight. I know this is gonna get weird because Bono showed up. But I know things didn't go well with you and Bono, man. It's all good. But I have to say, bro, you are killing it, man. You are killing it in your own endeavors. And people, when I mean by killing it, like literally killing it. Travis has killed every pot plant he's ever since he started growing on his own. And it's just one more reason why everybody keeps buying weed from Bono. Travis, relax. Travis, calm down, bro. I know you're getting paranoid. We're talking about weed. You're worried about the cops rolling in. But hey, we all know if the cops roll in right now, they're going to be looking for the guy that was driving from Gritty's that's got a water... hold on, I fucked this up. Besides, if we're... Travis, don't worry, the cops are not going to get you. Besides, if they're really here, it's probably because they followed a trail of water from Gritty's all the way to Scotty's car in the parking lot. So you got nothing to worry about, bro. If you all don't know, if anybody that doesn't get that joke, Scotty got arrested for DUI, but he didn't get arrested on the scene. The cops found his car because they followed the water trail from the fire extinguisher that he hit all the way to his apartment. So anybody that doesn't get that joke, that's because Scotty's an idiot.
I shit you not, that's real.
They could have got you.
So, yeah, that's
But hey,
For this position, I wouldn't
Scotty, I'm glad you came tonight. I know things were going sour, you weren't going to come, but I love you either way. Scotty's got a girlfriend now. He's a changed man, I swear to God he is. At least when his girlfriend's around. Scotty loves superhero movies, if you don't know. I hate superhero movies. Scotty loves superhero movies. So much so that he's enabled himself to he's embodied himself to be like the superhero character. In a sense that he's like Clark Kent. And then as soon as Carly's not around, he's the Superman of the fucking party. Really, you are.
I love you, Scott.
Scotty, Bobby dated a cop, and he had more rights than you did. Seriously. Even Bobby was gonna start Scotty's Lives Matter tonight, but Bobby can't even organize his own sock drawer. And besides,
I got Argyle, baby.
Besides, Mark Jumper's here, so we can't show any compassion for anybody. As most of
What are you laughing at? You should be practicing pool.
As most of you know, Dylan was supposed to be up here tonight, but Dylan won't say much, so I'm just kidding. Dylan. No, as most of you know, my father is a Trump supporter. He's a Trump kind of guy. It is what it is. So much so that I'm surprised that he didn't just spew out bullshit for 2 hours, and he actually gave the rest of us a voice to talk.
But say what you want about Trump supporters, my dad is a real straight shooter. He's got 6 kids. As a matter of fact, call him an American sniper.
USA!
Dad, really, I really wanted to lay into you tonight. I wanted to roast you, and I thought really hard, I thought really long about what can I say, and then I was like, you know what? He's an over-the-hill vacuum salesman. His life sucks. Dad, for real though, you're like the Jeff Ross of roasts. Except you're not funny, and you won't be invited back. Wait, let me say that one more time. Dad. I'm a little drunk, but you're like the Jeff Ross of roast. You're not funny, and you're never going to be invited back. Lastly, I just want to say this to each and every one of you. I love you so much. I love each and every one of you much. I love each and every one of you up here as much as Donald Trump loves Mexicans. Or immigrants in that sense at all. Again though, seriously, all of you guys, I love you. I'm glad that you came here to enjoy this humiliation of me. But you guys are all funny. Bobby Labby fucking killed it. I'm just gonna say that right now. I thought I wrote a good skit, and then five seconds into Bobby's skit, I was like, God damn, that guy. My dad, I realized when my dad got up here, I was like, I'm just as disappointing as that man. But really, the rest of them were really good fucking dudes. Travis was lost in the sauce, but he came in late. We all know you didn't write your own jokes. It's okay. If you didn't know Travis didn't write his own jokes, Travis didn't write his own jokes. Not one of them, ladies and gentlemen, not one of them. But anyways, thank you guys all for being here, and let's fucking get drunk or something.
He was the only one that I'm like, he's gonna come. No, nobody.
Or